Oh my God!
Make
You're
sure that
lecturing
fits.
me. Oh my
Well,
God!
no, I'm not lecturing you. I'm trying to distill your sage piece of advice, your why smart woman wisdom.
Oh, okay.
And I thought that's where you were headed.
Well,
I'm sorry.
it is. No, that's okay. Don't apologise.
You are listening to the Why Smart Women podcast, the podcast that helps smart women work out why we repeatedly make the wrong decisions and how to make better ones. From relationships, career choices, finances, to faux fur jackets and kale smoothies. Every moment of every day, we're making decisions. Let's make them good ones. I'm your host, Annie McCubbin, and as a woman of a certain age, I've made my own share of really bad decisions. Not my husband. I don't mean him, though. I did go through some shockers to find him. And I wish this podcast had been around to save me from myself. This podcast will give you insights into the working of your own brain, which will blow your mind. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I'm recording and you are listening on this day. Always was, always will be, Aboriginal land.
Well, hello, smart women, and welcome to this week's bonus episode where I am here with David, my partner.
Good morning.
And this week we're going to discuss things that annoy Annie. And there is a multiplicity of things that annoy me.
Are we going to be able to fit that into a single podcast?
It's going to. I think things that annoy Annie. It's going to have to be. I don't know.
It could be a spin-off. It could be an entire series.
Spin-off series. So the thing that annoyed me this morning was that I lost my keys.
That's annoying.
To our new apartment, the fob, which the company Meriton wants to charge me a lot of money to get it replaced. So the fob's gone, the front door key's gone, the key to the office that we do trainings in is gone.
They're very expensive to make, those fobs.
The plastic.
But it still annoys you.
You really anyway, and I lost it. And the thing that really annoys me is that I'm not a loser, in the most literal sense of the word. I don't. Like, you lose things all the time, don't you?
What?
What? Well, you do. You've got it.
Well, no, you just happen to remember.
It's not confirmation bias. Don't go there.
You remember every time I lose something.
How many times a day do you go, do you know where my...
Well, yeah, but that's not lost. It's seeking to relocate
anyway,
it in the environment.
I'm not the one that loses things. It sort of doesn't fit with my identity. But I don't want to talk about that.
Well, I think that's a really interesting thing to talk about.
What?
How important that notion of identity is to you, because I do know that it's important to you that in this relationship I'm the one who loses things
and I help you find them,
and
I am the finder. I'm the finder.
Okay. Yes, you are the finder, and you are also the one who never loses things.
I did.
And so I think that gives you a great sense of comfort when that narrative
Shut up anyway. I'm sick
appears to be supported by reality. But the thing is, I haven't lost the fob or the keys.
No,
yet.
I know.
And I haven't. When was the last time I really lost anything major?
Oh, come on.
Okay. There you go. You've got that assumption that recently I have lost something important.
Yeah.
But I would put it to you that you've just got a story in your head that I lose stuff all the time.
Yeah, you do lose stuff all the time.
Yeah. Well, what was the last thing I lost?
Your phone.
No, I've got my phone.
Yeah, but that's because I helped you find it.
No, you didn't help me find it. I used the the beeping thing on the watch, and I helped.
Your keys.
No.
Keys in the truck. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that.
So you're moving on because
I'm really annoyed.
Reality doesn't support your narrative.
Anyway. I'm going to... God, the weather here's horrible today in Sydney, Australia. Anyway, here's the thing I'm really annoyed.
That was a safe topic, isn't it?
I tell you what I'm really annoyed about. Oh, apart from the losing of the keys. That's what I was telling you. So then I bought this little purse. I went back down to the mall and I got a little purse and I thought I'm going to put it on the lanyard because I've lost the lanyard. I love the lanyard. Then I'm going to put the purse, attach it to the lanyard.
And I think I want to commend you for that, because when you do sort of habitually lose track of things, it's good to have a tool like a lanyard or a little chain or an air tag. Did you think about maybe putting an air tag on your lanyard?
You're I'm going to just block you from my vision so I can speak to my nice listeners. Anyway, I went down to the mall and I bought a little purse that I could attach to the lanyard that I could put the card in, my Opal card, so when I get on the bus I don't have to scrabble around in my wallet. And because, as you know, I have very bad, makes me feel very young, but I'm gorgeous to look at, but I do have arthritis in my fingers.
Yes.
Anyways, I bought this purse and I go home. I was really happy about it.
That's very good.
I got the little Opal card out today, and it doesn't fit in the purse.
It doesn't fit in the purse.
And I even tried to bend the card, which is a dumb thing to do. And now I'm going to take the purse back anyway.
You found that annoying.
I was so annoyed by that I was sweating, and it's cold today. I'm still sweating from the annoyance.
Do you sweat when you get annoyed?
What? Yeah, sure I do. Don't you?
Not that I notice.
What?
What's that? Okay, so
Physiological
so I'm
thing.
annoyed.
You've got some
I don't
arousal.
know,
I sweat.
It's been such a long time that I've ever been annoyed. Since I've been annoyed with somebody, I can't.
Or
really
is that
remember.
because you're like Jesus? Is that because you're just the most calm,
that's
Buddha-like? Pick any religious icon. You're what, like Jesus in your
equanimous?
You're equanimous and compassionate.
You're annoyed, and I'm equanimous.
Yeah.
Like
That's
I
why
lose
I'm
stuff
annoyed.
and you never lose stuff.
Yeah. So the equanimous Jesus, like David, never sweats. I'm going to have to put my head up now. Anyway, the thing I really wanted to talk about, and I got distracted.
That's dangerous ground, people claiming that they don't sweat.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Good point.
I sweat.
Andrew, yeah,
I
we
do
all sweat.
sweat.
Anyway, so back to what is actually annoying me, apart from the little thing about the purse that doesn't fit my card, is burnout.
You're annoyed by burnout?
I'm annoyed about burnout now being a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
burnout. It's everywhere, right? And guess what? Someone has burnout.
yes.
Purportedly,
Yeah.
supposedly, right? They've now
You don't believe in burnout?
Well, I don't believe in the term burnout, because guess who's going to help people with burnout?
Who's going to help people with burnout?
Wellness.
Gabby Bernstein.
Gabby Bernstein.
You'll have
Gabby Bernstein is. I'll get on to Gabby Bernstein because she's also really annoyed me. But burnout is going. Okay, so right, it's the new term, right? It's the new term is burnout. It's like triggered is another term, which irritates me. Anyway, so now what's happening is people have burnout.
Yeah, and there may be some listeners who have experienced burnout.
No, they haven't experienced burnout. They have experienced stress. They could be anxious. They could be depressed. They could have a whole lot of really stressful things going on in their life. They could be in the wrong job. They could have a toxic boss. There could be a whole lot of things going on.
Yes.
And now it's been put in the burnout bucket.
Well, isn't it in the burnout bucket when you've got all of those things going on, and it's like it's like when it's extreme. When it's like extreme and those stresses are unrelenting, that the nervous system... Are you looking up burnout on your phone right now?
Yeah, because I'm really irritated by it.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. So all it is a bucket. And once something goes into the bucket, here we go. Right, here we go. Burnout, symptoms, risk factors, prevention, treatment, burnout, syndromes,
so
causes.
There's got to be something legitimate about burnout.
It's not legitimate. Occupational burnout is a syndrome that occurs when chronic workplace stress is not managed effectively.
Yeah.
It is often described as an inability to cope with psychological stress at work due to insufficient resources. Burnout can manifest in a range of symptoms, including emotional and physical responses. Emotional symptoms: feeling depleted, worn out, discouraged or cynical. A negative attitude towards work, decreased satisfaction or feeling isolated.
Yes.
What's new about that? That's not new, is it? I mean, if you're working in a workplace environment that is not supportive and you're under-resourced, like you're in the hospital system, right? They're constantly under-resourced, right?
Yeah.
Many
many
workplaces.
That's right. When you say the medical system, I mean, you talk these young doctors.
I'm still sweating from the purse incident.
Yeah.
Go on.
Hopefully, I shouldn't take it personally. I'm not annoying you at the moment.
You actually were really annoying me at the beginning of this with your blabbing on about.
So
that actually made me worse with you blabbing on.
It made you sweat more.
about
I'm sorry
my
about
idea.
that.
It's all right. Also, my eyes watering. Anyway, go on.
Okay, so
I'm not saying people...
burnout. That's right. Those young doctors
Yeah.
who do they work in emergency for 24 hours straight, or
they're having a horrible time.
but can't we call that burnout?
No, we're not going to call it burnout because burnout is now a thing. It's a new thing in a new bucket, and then what's going to happen with burnout is alternative medicine and wellness is going to step into the breach, and it's going to start offering supplements for burnout. It's going to start offering meditation practices for burnout. It's going to start offering yoga for burnout. It's going to start offering mindfulness for burnout. It's annoying because burnout is just a constellation of symptoms that have been here forever, right? And now we've decided to focus it and put it into one spot, and then we call it something, and then wellness is going to step in and start saying, are you burnt out? Because what you need is this supplements because it's going to da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, burnout. That feels familiar. And maybe if someone could help me with that, then I'd be okay.
And what are the 5 symptoms? Helplessness, cynicism, sense of failure or self-doubt, decreased satisfaction, feeling detached or alone in the world, loss of motivation.
Yeah.
Now, what does that sound like?
That sounds like me. That sounds like me last year when I was feeling rather burnt out.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So hang on a second.
Yes, you were feeling burnt out.
Come on, let's map this conversation out a little bit. I mean, surely you expect that those symptoms that you've described, there's a spectrum of them.
Of course there is.
And there would be some people who would actually need a therapy. They would need a treatment.
Fine, go to a therapist. Perfect. Go to see a psychologist and deal with the fact, right?
But the thing that you sound to be annoyed about is the people who don't actually have I'm not saying people don't have those symptoms. They do. Yeah.
You did have that last year.
But you don't like.
Which was a bit annoying, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, sorry. I felt isolated and alone and hopeless.
Well, I was here.
Yeah, I know. Well, you can say sorry for that as well.
You're
being useless as I was approaching burnout. You just got annoyed with me.
I do. I don't like it.
Oh, I'm starting to sweat now.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Okay. I think the thing that you're taking aim at the moment is the tendency for people to put a label on ordinary responses to life, elevate it to something called burnout, which then needs a wellness influencer to give you a...
That is very, very, may I say, that is a very, very pithy description of my current annoyance. That's very good.
Oh, thank you.
That's all right. Because, of course, people are experiencing a sense of helplessness.
Yeah.
Of course,
and that's terrible.
It's terrible. But what we need to do, as I have frequently said in the past with one of my other pearls of wisdom, is that often in these situations at work, and this has happened a lot, what they do is they roll out wellness programs so that employees can do some yoga at lunchtime, or they can learn some breathing techniques. Fine, it's all fine. Except that what is often the problem is not to do with the individual, right, that is going to learn more self-management techniques so they can be more productive. The problem is structural. It is not down to the individual to sort it out for themselves, to go and get a supplement or learn some sort of emotional management technique. No, it's to do with the structure of the business the person is working in and the fact that too much is asked for them. They don't have the power to enact their job correctly and they are under-resourced.
Yeah.
I'm not saying people don't bring their own emotionality to a situation.
So if you're saying that if someone's job description puts them in a position where they're being held accountable for results and they actually don't have the autonomy to be able to decide how those results are created,
Correct.
Then that's the problem, and a breathing technique is not going to fix that for them. That
is right. Okay, so let's just say me, Annie, I'm working in a let's say, a financial organisation, and I have been given the job of
keeping a particular high maintenance client happy.
Exactly.
Okay. Right.
Exactly. So that's my job.
That's right.
And
when the client gets unhappy, you get stressed.
Yep.
When the client gets unhappy, the net promoter score drops. So there's all this pressure on you to keep
Yep.
this person happy.
Yep.
And you spend late nights, doing things for them.
Yep.
You change your routine in order to accommodate what it is.
Yeah, and what's happening to me while this is happening, while I'm dealing with this client,
you're probably sweating a lot while that's probably happening to you.
I'm probably Prince Andrewing. No, he doesn't sweat, does he? So I'm sweating. I'm
tired.
I'm very tired. I feel a sense of hopelessness. I'm cynical about my job. I'm all the things
That's
that are
right.
going to
You're trapped.
I'm trapped.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm starting to have a spike in anxiety. I could even be getting depressed.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And this is this situation I am in. Now,
That's a big emotional stew.
That's a big emotional stew I'm in, and
Yeah.
maybe my my outputs are dropping. I'm not doing as well as I could.
Yeah. Okay. Performance review time.
Performance review time comes, and then they say, and then I'm not meeting my KPIs.
Okay. Yeah.
Or that's not happening. And then someone can say to me, you've probably got burnout. And then I could go, and they could suggest I go on a retreat. Or they could suggest that I take a supplement. Or they could suggest that I take up a lunchtime yoga session to manage this stress that I'm under.
Okay. So what might be the rationale for recommending those kind of courses of action? Because, there's an intuitive sense about that. Mm-hmm. Like if you did do yoga or some breathing techniques, then the stress of it, wouldn't be, wouldn't go undealt with.
To a certain degree, it's going to help. But what's actually happened is perhaps I'm too young to be dealing with that client. Perhaps I'm under-resourced. Perhaps I've been put onto another matter and I don't have time to devote this. So the issue is structural, not to do with my response.
Yeah.
And this notion of, we're all just, we have to just endlessly do self-improvement, work on ourselves is really annoying me.
Yes.
And can we just take burnout out of the lexicon and stop talking about it?
Okay.
It's not going to happen. What you watch, it peaked, I think. When did burnout come into the lexicon? Around COVID, I think. It's everywhere now. So burnt out. Take this supplement.
So the
God, my eyes watering a lot. Go on.
So I think the problem that you're describing is that when people use a sort of a general catch-all like burnout,
yes,
and they take their attention to, as you say, the supplements or the breathing techniques or the corporate retreats or something like that in order to fix the burnout.
Yeah.
What it does, it distracts you from actually moving towards the real solution, which would be structural, which is if I'm accountable for keeping this customer happy, then I actually have autonomy, or I have the capacity to be able to choose to do things that will actually change the customer's expectation. I've got the power to give the customer what they want, or the power to give the customer to somebody who can give them what they want. I'm not stuck in this helpless position.
That's right. So that's right. So
set up to fail.
That's right. So, and maybe what happens is I go to my manager, or whoever, the partner, if I'm a lawyer.
Okay. So is this the performance review?
No. I say, look, this is happening at the moment. This is what I'm experiencing.
Okay.
And instead of dealing with it, they'll just say, I think that she's burnt out.
Yes. You're suffering from burnout at the moment. Why don't you go for a walk at lunchtime every day?
Do some yoga.
Yeah.
Why don't I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is my... So I'm not saying that our emotional reactivity isn't significant, because of course it is, but it's not the whole picture, right?
Yes.
Like me this morning, let's take me for example, with this purse that I'd bought after losing the keys so that I could have easy access to the pass when I got on the bus, and then I find it doesn't work. That is a minor inconvenience, is it not, in a world that is currently tilting in pretty dangerous directions. But I did not manage my emotional reaction to that at all well. I got really annoyed. I couldn't get it off the lanyard. I'd put it on the lanyard. I couldn't get it off the lanyard. I was sweating. I was annoyed. I spoke to the dog gruffly, and he's got a sore paw.
Oh, yes.
I said, get off the bed. Are you sitting on my other purse? I said that to him, to Ryder.
Yes.
He's got one of the, the cone in his head. I said, get off the bed. Are you sitting on my other purse?
Yes.
It's a necessary way to speak to the dog.
Yeah, well, sometimes when people are experiencing burnout, they do get a bit gruff.
So I was burnt out by the purse. So I could have managed that much better. I could have actually gone.
You could have.
And but I didn't. It's the purse's fault. It's the guy. It's the guy that sold me the purse.
Yes.
I said, "Will this fit a card?" And he said, "Yes."
Annie?
I'm annoyed at that guy.
Yeah. Have you ever tried curcumin?
Okay.
It's
anti-inflammatory.
Because it sounds like your nervous system is inflamed at the moment.
Yeah.
Have you? I'm going to send you an article on burnout.
And see if I can take some turmeric.
And maybe that'll fix it. So I mean,
okay, we are joking about the curcumin turmeric. This is the catch-all for any inflammatory response currently in the alt-med environment is turmeric. Also, let me just say this. Anybody that is taking fish oil, be very, very, very careful, because
it's slippery if you drop it.
The amount of contaminants and lack of oversight in the manufacture and selling of fish oils is extraordinary. And what we'll do is we'll put a link in the show notes from Nick Tiller about the problem with fish oils. And there's also very, very little evidence it does anything as per.
Okay.
It's unregulated.
Okay, so you've scampered off into one of your favourite topics.
I'm annoyed about it.
Having a crack at an unregulated supplement.
Yeah, I'm really annoyed about it.
But if we go back to your annoyance with the purse,
it's really annoying.
The point of this whole conversation is that when you're getting annoyed, don't misappropriate the feeling that you have to just burnout, because that keeps you kind of trapped in an echo chamber of, I need to fix my burnout, when actually what you needed to do was something very practical and concrete, which is to measure the size of your Opal card.
Oh my God!
Make
You're
sure that
lecturing
fits.
me. Oh my God!
No, I'm not lecturing you. I'm trying to distill your sage piece of advice. Your why smart woman wisdom.
Oh, okay. I guess the thing is,
and I thought that's where you were headed.
Well,
I'm sorry.
It is. No, that's okay. Don't apologise. Do apologise. Don't apologise.
I've done already.
No, the thing is that sometimes it is our reactivity to a situation that is causing us to what?
Sweat, to be annoyed, to be outraged, to
have
the symptoms of burnout. I'm helpless. I can't fix this.
That's not burnout. But anyway, I get what you're saying. The thing is that trying to discern when our emotional reaction is actually causing us harm, because like this morning, I spent 20 minutes in a highly agitated state, unnecessarily.
About the purse?
About the purse.
Okay, yeah.
And I feel bad about saying that to the dog.
Yes.
Have you fed the dogs?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I've walked the dogs, fed the dogs.
You're very good with the dogs. Your dog hurt his paw. The dog got glass in his paw. He's had to have stitches. He had to have an anaesthetic. Anyway, so sometimes that's the case. Now, sometimes as you go through your day, you're going to have a reaction to something, and you can look at that reactivity and really analyse, is the situation warranting that level of emotional response?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Fine.
Yes. Is there more drama in this than is necessary?
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
Sometimes in a situation, you may be at work and there is an ongoing situation that actually you don't have a lot of control over, and it is causing you a large emotional reaction. part of that is your emotional reaction, and part of it is the environment we are in is more important than we give it credit for.
Right, you're talking about the external environment.
Thank you.
So this is the water that we're swimming around in.
That's right.
So if the water is too hot,
Yep.
if we're swimming around in water that is too hot,
Yep.
then that is obviously going to have an impact on our nervous system.
That's right.
Yeah. And when that's the case,
Yeah.
no amount of work on your nervous
Breathing,
system
yoga, supplements
is going to change the fact that the
retreats.
water is really hot.
That's right.
Or to be more, I guess, literal,
Yeah.
that the culture is toxic.
Correct.
Or that the team is under-resourced.
Correct.
Or that people are being made responsible for things that they don't have power over.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
So that's right. So I think it's an ongoing, self-analysis is an ongoing process for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
What can you control and what can't you control is a pretty important question to ask. Can I control another person's response? No.
No, you can't. And I guess what I'm asking is that if you find yourself getting annoyed at things that you can control, like
The purse.
the size of the purse that's
Yep.
supposed to contain an opal card. Okay, so I'm getting annoyed about something I can control. Then what? What happens next?
So if I notice that, and I guess that's the whole thing, is that we get really habitualized about our internal emotional response.
Right.
And the thing about that is it feels right. Like
Yep.
it felt right in the middle of that. And I'm like, yeah, well, this is really annoying.
Yes.
Why didn't he, when I said, does it fit a card, the guy should have gone, no, it doesn't, but he didn't. So, right.
Yeah.
It feels right at the time.
That's right. So you've got that emotional state, and then the dog's on the bed, and you go, get off the bed.
Get off the bed, and then I'm there.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Yeah.
But
Poor dog.
is this something that you can control?
What you can do is learn to identify that emotional response and manage it. And how do you do that, David?
Managing an emotional response?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, the first thing is to just notice that you're having one.
right.
And you can name it, and you can decide, does this emotional response serve a purpose?
Right.
And if you are annoyed about something that you can change, then they say that, anger is God's fire for change. If you're annoyed, you've got energy, and it is something that you can impact on, then, do it. Go get yourself the right size purse. Demand the resources to be able to fulfill that.
But how do I
SLA.
manage that in the moment? What could I have done differently in the moment so I didn't end up sweating and speaking, inappropriately to the dog with the sore paw?
Okay, so you notice you're having that response. You name it. I'm frustrated because of this.
Yep.
You accept the fact that it has a purpose.
Yep.
But then you can ask yourself, is the annoyance actually helping me?
Yep.
Is being this frustrated working for me?
Yep.
If it is, then be frustrated. Then act out of that frustration.
Yep.
If being that frustration is not working for you, then the thing that we can do is, can I say, drop anchor?
Yeah, you can.
We can accept it. We can actually accept that we're disappointed, or we're frustrated, or we're annoyed, and just kind of sit with that for a little bit. And
How do I do that?
accept it.
Just accept that it, like the sensation in my body.
Yeah. I mean, okay, now we are sort of talking about sort of some disciplines and techniques around psychological flexibility, where, you can actually sit with a sensation and just notice it, and notice it objectively. Notice that you've got where does annoyance manifest in you? In your chest, and you notice the sweating.
I do.
Okay, so then you just notice the sensation in your chest.
Yep.
And you notice the sweating, but
Yep.
you notice that is not all of you.
There's
Okay.
something else going on. I am not just my sweating.
That's right. Mm-hmm. You've got those sensations, chest and sweating, but you can also move your feet. You can also nod your head. You can roll your shoulders back, and so that's right. You are not the emotion. So the emotion is not your total experience. You're just having this emotion, and having the emotion, you can choose whether you act on it or not.
Perfect. And on that note, the what are we going to call it? Not David's drivel, because that's mean. David's. I'm trying to think of a word like Annie's pearls of wisdom.
Oh, you're branding some of my.
I'm branding it.
Some of my rambling.
David's dose of wisdom.
Okay.
Terrible.
That's right. We'll workshop that.
David's disciplines.
Yeah.
No.
We're
going to workshop that. Anyway, that's enough of that. Anyway, that's my rant for the day on how annoyed I am by burnout, not suggesting that anybody isn't experiencing emotional distress, especially with the amount of terrible disruption that's going on in the world at the moment. We do think of the people that are in really terrible, terrible situations. So on that note, from one of David's disciplines, which we're going to workshop, if anybody out there is experiencing emotional distress, please talk to a friend, or go and see a psychologist if you can afford it. But the first thing is to actually talk about it with someone.
Someone who has your best interest at heart.
Someone who has your best interest at heart. We know that life can be very, very tough for a lot of people. So thank you for tuning in, listeners, wherever you are in the world. In Sydney, Australia this morning, it is a wild and woolly day. It's very, very windy, and Sydney siders, when it drops below 15 degrees, we all get dressed like we're in the middle of Antarctica. So I'll go out this morning in my puffer jacket, and I wish you all well. See you later.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning into Why Smart Women with me, Annie McCubbin. I hope today's episode has ignited your curiosity and left you feeling inspired by my anti-motivational style. Join me next time as we continue to unravel the fascinating layers of our brains and develop ways to sort out the fact from the fiction and the over 6,000 thoughts we have in the course of every day. Remember, intelligence isn't enough. You can be as smart as paint, but it's not just about what you know, it's about how you think. And in all this talk of whether or not you can trust your gut, if you ever feel unsafe, whether it's in the street, at work, in a car park, in a bar, or in your own home, please, please respect that gut feeling. Staying safe needs to be our primary objective. We can build better lives, but we have to stay safe to do that. And don't forget to subscribe, rate and review the podcast and share it with your fellow smart women and allies. Together, we're hopefully reshaping the narrative around women and making better decisions. So until next time, stay sharp, stay savvy, and keep your critical thinking hat shiny. This is Annie McCubbin signing off from Why Smart Women. See you later. This episode was produced by Harrison Hess. It was executive produced and written by me, Annie McCubbin.